So you may be wondering, are IQ scores like permanent or do they change across the lifespan? And what we tend to know is that your relative IQ, so your IQ compared to your peers, tends to stay the same. But your absolute IQ, so that actual your intelligence value might change a bit. So this is a graph that's kind of depicting age groups on the x-axis and their IQ score on the y-axis. So you can see that, younger individuals tend to kind of be a little bit higher on IQ. But as you kind of get older, your IQ value, your absolute IQ value might decrease a little bit. But that ratio is likely to still stay consistent because as a whole, your age group, for instance, score is lowering. So your actual proportion is not going to change. This is heavily influenced by individual differences. So not everyone might experience a decline in this way, but this is like an average portrayal of how IQ changes across the lifespan. Okay, so let's get into actually measuring it on an item by item level. You might be wondering, okay, what is actually on these tests? Like, how do we actually measure IQ? So since the development of what IQ is, many tests have been created throughout the years to try to get at it. And some of these are a lot better than others. So what I'm showing you here is a sample from the Army beta test, which was an IQ test that was administered to Army recruits during World War I. So recruits who failed a written test or who were illiterate took this test. So it's a picture version. They wouldn't need to read the questions. And your task is to look at each of these items and identify what is missing from each figure. So I want you to pause and maybe I'll have you answer these down below or just make it a thought question, but I want you to kind of look item by item and see if you could pinpoint what's wrong with each picture, what's missing. So if you're like me, some of these are a little bit easier than others, right? So just to kind of orient you are the correct answers here. So this house is missing a chimney up above. It doesn't have any sort of ability for smoke to exit. This rabbit's missing an ear. This light bulb is missing that circly filament part inside of the bulb. This is missing two things, actually. There's no return address here or a stamp. So those two things could be missing. This violin does not have strings on it. This corkscrew, or sorry, I just gave that away. This flip knife thing that I am forgetting the word for, but I hope you know what this means. Pocket knife, there we go. This pocket knife is missing a corkscrew. This gun is missing, or revolver is missing a trigger. This pig is missing a tail. This crab is missing one of its claws. I think it's a leg, but claws, the answer that I have. These two cats, one is missing its shadow. This is like a bowling alley and it's missing a ball that they're actually rolling. And this is a little tennis court and it's missing the actual net. Okay, so maybe you're kind of thinking what I'm thinking when I first went through this is like, okay, some of these seem more straightforward than others, right? I want you to kind of think about, now that you know the answers, what's wrong with this type of test? Do you think this is a test that is accurately getting at everyone's possible intelligent ability? Or do you think there might be some problems with using items like these to try to test people?